Hello guys, here again at the Supper Suite at South by Southwest. Right now I want to give a big shout out to Hint Water because we wouldn't be talking about movies at South by Southwest if it wasn't for our wonderful sponsors, and right now we get to talk about Mother's Little Helpers because of them. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi. Congratulations on the movie. I am a little sensitive when everyone at Collider knows I love horror movies, but I'm a little sensitive when it comes to more realistic approaches to a situation where someone's dying. And the fact that this movie kind of left me with a shred of hope, it's something about the family vibe and the chemistry that kind of really spoke to me and I connected to right from the start. So just to go back to the beginning here, where did this idea come from? And also I noticed that the cast were all listed as co-writers on the film, which struck me.
Yeah, the idea was something I'd been sitting on for a few years after I attended some group death situations. And mostly because A, it's a bummer, but two, it's also kind of awesome and magical to have those moments of human connection. And for me, it's hilarious. I'm always the one who will end up laughing at the baby's funeral, like inappropriately. And for me, that's what this movie really represented, is that like as humans, we're kind of only have like so high of a threshold for tragedy. And at a certain point, we just go insane and it becomes hysterical. And that was my authentic human experience. And when I started talking to my friends, my real life friends, Breeda and Sam, about that experience and wanting to make this movie last year, they had both went through the exact same thing where both of them lost their dad in the exact same time frame, almost on the exact same day, almost in the exact same way. And both of them really wanted to talk about it. We had these complicated sibling coming together. So I thought that I was super special and unique and that, you know, this like thing happened to me. And then I realized that it literally happens to everyone. Most of us are never going to be James Bond, like international spy double agenting, but most of us will experience, like pretty much best case scenario, the death of a flawed parent. And it was through this like conversation with my friends that we decided this was something we all wanted to talk about and kind of bring to the table that sense of connection that comes with it. And you know, you see a lot of these improvised movies, like, you know, like my favorite films, right? Like 40-Year-Old Virgin, Best in Show, my favorite movies, right? But all of those movies were improvised by these insanely talented cast members, but one person ended up getting the writing credit for it. So while we were working off of an outline in a story that I wrote, it just seemed like fair that since we were going to be making it up as we went along, that they should get a co-writing credit. And they gave me their soul. I give them a co-writing credit. Seems like a fair deal.
And I personally had one of the most creative, inspiring, wild, like life-altering art experiences working on Kestrin's movie, because Kestrin has sort of built herself as a lady, a creator, a filmmaker from this. I mean, this is only me speaking from the outside, looking at you and your life. I'm like, I don't know if you talk about yourself this way, but like, okay. But she has builds communities in a way that I've never seen anybody with such open-mindedness, vigor, and collective sort of like, here's a project, let's get it done, let's do this, you know, and then offers so much. And that's sort of reflected in her RVIP, which is like this karaoke RV, which transports you to another universe. And so her set was this very interesting place, which was like, you know, the story lived and grew from this collective bubbling fervorance of shared human experience, and it allowed us as actors and creators to talk about our personal lives, talk about the lives of our family members and how they might have dealt with death, and talk about the lives of our I play Julia Pride in the movie, and I'm like based on everybody's older sister who hasn't adjusted well. But I had we keep joking that we can't talk about this movie without directly talking about our families. So
we won't.
So we won't. But you know, I ended up learning a lot about my sisters and learning a lot about other people's experience with grief, other people's experience with this moment in your life where everything becomes magnified, where all of your failures, all of your hopes, dreams become magnified in the death of a parent. And it's both like the most beautiful time in your life and the most anyone who's experienced that kind of loss knows it's like all of a sudden time gets compressed and experience gets compressed, and it's like this strange feeling where you wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It's the worst time in your life, but you wouldn't want to ever skip it. It's a weird, like, and our film is kind of about, you know, capturing that, you know, you try to avoid all these things in your life, and then when you just have to stare directly into that scariness, it's like the most beautiful things can happen.
It's an interesting thing to say that you wouldn't want to skip it for the world, because like my mind immediately went to how troubling it is to lose anyone, a family member or a pet. But in that moment, the one thing that I always latch on to is this feeling sucks, but would I give up all the good feelings to not have to feel this? And that kind of at least levels it out.
Yeah. There's also, I think, when you lose someone, you're left with the people around you to kind of identify yourself with and reflect back who you are. Who am I with this person gone from my life? And I feel like we kind of explored that.
Yeah, the vacuum that occurs in a loss. It's really fascinating. I think that the biggest thing is that, you know, these are all really big topics, and they're you know, poets and artists and everything have you know,
world religions.
Yeah, world
Don't
religions
forget.
have talked about this. But I think what makes our film so special is this very unique energy that Kestrin has as a filmmaker to bring out what other people are experiencing, and not in an obtrusive way, not in a like, I'm gonna take what you are and steal it.
Yeah.
You know, it's you offer your soul up to her, and she goes, great, now come get on my karaoke bus and let's take you to
What
South
is this
by Southwest with
karaoke
this
bus? What's happening here?
It's
Is there
kind of
like
a movement. It's sort of just an abundant, open heart, like welcoming anyone who wants to come on board and have fun. Really.
So, like, are we talking about a literal
I mean,
karaoke
yeah,
bus?
in the
Because that is what I'm
simplest-
picturing now.
Yes.
it's a big bus.
Okay.
It's
I mean,
not like
it's not a
van.
bus. It is not a bus. The RVIP lounge is a karaoke RV that is built inside. It's a karaoke lounge built inside of a customized RV that roves around and throws these parties. And in some ways, it's like, yeah, like a party bus. And it's like, no, not like a party bus. It is a time machine that transports you to 4 a.m. in the morning, screaming at the top of your lungs, having the greatest night of your entire life. Yeah. And there's a community that's formed around it over the last 10 years that we've been bringing it to South by Southwest. And so many amazing geniuses have worked on the project. So it is like more like an immersive event. My business partner for the last 10 years was, by day, he was the CTO of Disney Imagineering, and by night, he was the CTO of the RVIP Lounge. So we built these like hacker, amazing, beautiful art installations and like coded up raw software to make the computer talk and like applaud for you and do all of these magical things. It's like kind of like a mix between being on a ride and at Burning Man, but also like you're just in Austin and like everything is okay in the world. You don't know where you are, but you're exactly where you want to be.
Oh my, that is a wonderful pitch.
Yeah, it also
I don't even really like karaoke.
You're a favorite.
I'm not big into
yeah,
it.
No, that's
but
good.
Something about this is very appealing to me.
It
right
also
now.
has an element of like, I grew up, my dad was grew up with the sing song. I feel like the sing song is something we've lost in the world. You know, like our generation kind of lost to like someone gets to talk guitar and just plays all the songs that everyone knows. So the RVIP has like it's not like that thing where you do karaoke and you're up on a stage and you have to like sweat and shake and you feel all nervous. It's like everybody's singing with you.
Yeah, it's more like church, like where, ever since people have been around, they get together in a group and sing. And people really don't do that as much as they have done the last like 4,000 or 7,000 years. It's kind of tapered off a bit. It's more like you go to a show and you watch like Bon Iver sing or like John Bon Jovi sing, but usually you're like, supporting them while they're putting on the show. But like for most of humanity, everyone is sung together as this like tribal ritual, and so it's more like the tribalization of karaoke.
Okay.
That's right.
And I think it kind of translated to the way that the set was handled everyone, that sort of abundant nature, the PAs, everyone was fully on board because it was this open-hearted, just express yourself, kind of sing a karaoke song.
It was totally that. And by extension, it was like everybody's spouses and family. And there was a support system that goes not just, and I feel like this is so like just Kestrin Pantera making a movie, and this is how it goes. And it's a community built, made push that everybody wants to. I'm just going to cry talking about this movie. It was like, if you ever get a chance to make a movie with Kestrin and you're an actor, like, take it, because it'll rock your world.
Well, it's so refreshing to hear about a collaboration like this, where it's like you guys feel like a family and that radiates off the screen in the actual movie, but you can get that vibe here that you guys are really important to each other, and I think that's key for a movie like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have to wrap up, but in order to wipe away some of the tears, just really quickly, because I can't help myself, tell me about the dog. That dog is freaking adorable.
Hank? Oh, gosh.
I just can't.
Loaded question. A little bit. That is Milana Weintraub's dog. She, she's on This Is Us, and she was in Love on Netflix and Silicon Valley, and she's one of the...
She plays Lucy.
She plays Lucy.
Lucy Pride.
She's a phenomenal comedic actress and writer and director in her own right, and she adopted this dog, Hank, that she loves, and we were shooting in her house, and so Hank is in the movie.
Hank was like continually biting my ankles the entire time, and we couldn't put the dog out of the house.
So we just wrote the dog into the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so
I wish I loved the dog a little bit more. I'm sorry, Milana.
Hang
I
out
love your
with us.
dog.
Let's
Do you want to do rapid fire questions?
I wish I could. I feel like
Well, I
I'm going
can
to get
say-
yelled at. What's happening right now?
Okay.
When is? Oh yeah.
But we're
Okay.
having fun.
Come see Mother's Little Helpers. We're really
Yes.
excited to be world premiering at South by Southwest. The film was inspired by the life and death of someone who had a wristband to South by Southwest year one, who was a drug dealer backstage at the Continental Club and a rock and roll awesome person and kind of not so awesome parent. So premiering at South by Southwest is an absolute dream come true, and we're so excited. So we can't wait for everyone in the world to see it.
A huge congratulations. I share that. Mother's Little Helpers. Keep an eye out for it. Another thank you to Hintwater over here and the Supper Suite for having us. Keep an eye out for more South by Southwest interviews coming your way real soon.